It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline. The chain is finally broken. Ekpa reacts to Kanu'S appearance in court without handcuff. The news in full. Simeon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed disciple of embattled leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has expressed hope that the dream of actualizing Biafra as a sovereign state for the Southeast would soon be a reality. The finished statement was actually posted on his official Facebook page while reacting to the appearance of Nnamdi Kanu of the indigenous people of Biafra in court without handcuff. Daily Post reported that the secessionists were at the Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday for the continuation of his trial over allegations of terrorism and treasonable felony. His request to be moved from the Kuje Correctional Center from the Department of State Services DSS facility to Kuje Correctional Center was, however, turned down by Justice Binta Iyanko, who has adjourned the case to November 10. Ekpa, in his post, says that the removal of the handcuff during Nnamdi Kanu's appearance indicated hope for Biafra freedom, where the post reads in part that in the past, Nnamdi Kanu has always appeared in court with hands chained handcuffs, and he had 3 count charges against him. In 2021, with 7 count charges, he appeared without a chain handcuff. Let me tell you, it is a sign of Biafra freedom. The chain is broken. I am Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu's disciple on Biafra restoration. And this was the reaction after Nnamdi Kanu appeared in court October 24, 2021. However, it was seen that even certain members of the staff were not permitted to enter because the trial of Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of IPOB, commenced today, 21/10/2021, and there was dissatisfaction since only court employees were permitted to enter into the premises. According to The Nation, representatives from the government did not disclose the reason for the denial of the request. Also, permitted entry into the premises were journalists selected from a list prepared by stern-looking, heavily armed officials of the DSS because they were dressed entirely in black. The majority of them were disguised. Families, supporters, civil rights organizations, lawyers, journalists, and other members of the public were gathered outside the courthouse because they were not permitted to enter the courtroom itself. There were heated exchanges between them and the security guards, which almost resulted in physical altercations. Deji Adeyanju, a member of a civil society organization, stated that at the very least, even under military control, journalists would be permitted access to the court, saying that the court might also be accessed by members of the general public. Today, however, the situation is reversed. I find it extremely regrettable and ridiculous that we are supposed to be living in a democratic society. Essentially, Nigerians should be aware that the President Muhammadu Buhari government has suspended the constitution and that the country is presently under military rule. The statement read. Another group of people who shouted out stated that it was undemocratic and several promised to pursue the matter further. However, the federal government has been warned to ensure open trial for Nnamdi Kanu. Indigenous Biafra Warriors, a pro-Biafra organization, has called on the federal government to guarantee that Nnamdi Kanu's trial in court today, Thursday, is conducted openly. As previously reported by the Daily Post, Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, is in court to be tried on an amended 7-count allegation touching on treason against him. Mr. Isiagu, the head of the indigenous Biafra Warriors, said in a press conference late Wednesday night that a secret trial of IPOB leader would send the wrong signal. He claims that Kanu remains a freedom fighter and a criminal contrary to what the government would have the public believe. Agu is a founding member of the movement for the actualization of sovereign states of Biafra known as MASO. Today is the big day, and expecting and hoping that the administration will do nothing but what is right. And the proper course of action is for Kanu to be charged today in court, in a public courtroom. Nobody should be discussing a covert trial of a Biafran freedom warrior at this time. We have read the new allegations against him, and we are all aware that it is all about giving a dog a bad reputation to hang it, the statement read. Agu recommended that the federal government proceed with the release of Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, emphasizing that he is simply an agitator, and the federal government is well aware of these facts. This is the only way to diffuse the tensions in the southeast, unless they wish to exacerbate the situation even further. In the meantime, I urge everyone to maintain their composure until the end of the day, and we are optimistic that everything will turn out well. We tell all our employees to remain their composure so that security agents do not perceive a motive to harass them. We will have another conversation after today, he stated, and today at the court of law, after the preparations, write-ups here and there, just like this that I just read, that Mr. Nnamdi Agu, who happens to be the head of the indigenous Biafra warriors, has said that they would not agree to a secret trial of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, that it would actually send the wrong signal, saying that Kanu was actually a freedom fighter and not a criminal, and therefore, contrary to the what they believe, Agu is one of the founding members of the movement of the actualization of sovereign state of Biafra, which is MASOB, saying that at the court today they shall see where the stuff is going to end. And at the court today it was said obviously that there was heavy security personnel at the court today at Abuja, where the DSS operatives, the army, Nigerian security and civil defense personnel, members of the Nigerian police force, some disguised for security agencies, and every one of them were there, barring entrances to the court building, according to the Sun newspaper, and journalists, lawyers, litigants, and a whole lot of people who by law were supposed to be in that courtroom were refused and denied entry into the courtroom, and saying that that this is actually undemocratic. That even during the military, Dejade Yonju, who is actually a civil rights activist, said that even during the military regime, pressmen, journalists were allowed into the courtroom. But today, it seemed not to be the same, that even families, supporters, civil rights organizations, lawyers, and other members of the public were gathered outside the courthouse because they were not permitted to enter into the courtroom, except those that are on the list, a list that was being held by the security agencies there, and anyone who is not on the list were denied entry. Thanks for listening.